So the welcome to the city of Las Vegas arch is so new that it hasn't even been christened. I don't even think they did a ceremony. If they did, I might have missed it. But what's not new is the community called Naked City, which sits behind the Stratosphere. We're going to go explore that today because honestly, I've never been further back than just the first block of the Aztec. And from what I heard, it's a pretty bad neighborhood, but my expectations might be wrong. Maybe I just heard a bunch of rumors. Don't you know that fish they caught was always this big? Can't do it with two hands, but you get the idea. Sometimes reality isn't what the stories tell. So we're gonna go and see what it's really like. How's it going, everybody? My name is Steven and I am not leaving Las Vegas. I'm a Vegas blogger. I hope you guys would like, share, subscribe, hit the bell for future notifications if you like this kind of a video, because I love making them for you. I wanna do more. I also do news updates, live streams. I've been in Vegas since 2004, so I'm not leaving Las Vegas. If you guys do hit the bell, leave a comment, share it with your friends. Tell us what you think about the area. Have you been back here? Is it an area that you would tell your friends and family not to go to? Or is it really all bark, no bite? You know? And if you guys want to support us further, we have Patreon. We have also the channel memberships. You get these kinds of videos early. We also have VegasFaceMask.com, no S at the end. This is brought to you by my sweet wife, dear Caroline. My dear wife, sweet Caroline. It's all Vegas nostalgia, all handmade. Best mask you'll ever buy. Gotta wear them nowadays, whatever. Hey, if you gotta wear them, get the best. So let's go take a look behind the Stratosphere, see what it looks like, see what Naked City is really like, tell you why it has that name, and maybe my opinion of the area will be totally changed. Maybe I didn't see enough, and that's the way life is sometimes, right? So without further ado, let's go explore Naked City in Vegas. Action. So one thing I will tell you about if you're standing right here, once these improvements to the roadway are done, I think it's going to be a really nice area. It's already kind of nice standing in front of the Stratosphere. These sculptures are great. I love it. You notice how they look up towards the Stratosphere Tower itself, but that's not this video today. We're not going into the Stratosphere. We'll have a room review coming up in the future of all these places, and we'll get on the casino floor the best we can because they all have different restrictions. No. Again, like I mentioned, we have to go to Naked City. It's this way, so let's take a look. So I actually have experience in this area. A lot of you guys might know this, but before, a long time ago, I actually worked as a timeshare marketer. And you can still see them in front of the Aztec. There's a little booth out front. They do Grand Canyon tours, helicopter tours, but the guy that asks you if you're going to a show, are you gonna be in Vegas for a few days? Those are the ones that are promoting for timeshares. So if you don't wanna talk to them, just be nice to them. They're just trying to do their thing too. But yeah, the Aztec. And then behind the Aztec, as you can see, there's these apartments. And it's crazy that you have so much wealth right there and not so much right here. So you got to consider that person who's helping you out, serving you in the casino. They may not be going up to a mansion. There's a bit of an income disparity in this town in a lot of ways. Maybe more so than other parts of the country. You can see these apartments right here. Furnished studio apartments for rent. Go to the Aztec Casino front desk. I'm going to continue walking down and trying to scope out this area. Behind here you have one of the huge condo towers. This would be facing right on Sahara Avenue. There was plans to build more, but they never came to pass. 2007, 2008 happened in Las Vegas, and that just never happened to build another massive tower like that. They sell for hundreds of thousands of dollars, these little condo apartments. Some of them even for the millions. But take a look over here at Las Vegas, not like you've seen before. So I'm starting to think that these must not be occupied. At least I hope they're not. Obviously, tons of damage here. I don't know if there was a fire. I don't think so. But even one fire in one unit might cause, there's rocks everywhere, might cause the whole thing to kind of get, that condemned. But let's move on a little bit, because this actually makes me a little bit nervous. You got the swimming pool. If you notice, the pool has just been backfilled with rocks. But we'll walk a little bit further in. It can't be this bad the whole way. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I've driven through here in the past, but I've never really gotten off my butt and seen how it is. I guess we just count our blessings that some of us don't have to live this way, and that there's opportunities to not have to live this way. So right next to that one, you have this one. And what's interesting about this one is that you can see, obviously, they've been doing a lot to try to improve the area, and I'm glad they are. So in recent years, there's been big, huge efforts to make the area better. So nice to see, strange to see right next door to one another how different things look, though, isn't it? So as you're walking through this area, a lot of the places are named after cities or states or counties. So we're on Bob Stupak Ave right now. This says it is a Fairfield Ave. And you can see there's some empty land here. Most of this land, considering how close it is to the strip, has been sold. Back in 2008, it was selling for $15 to $25 million per acre. Of course, it's less when you get this way, further in. So not everything is as bad as the first one we looked at, which is very fortunate and good. Some of these are just small little motel looking areas. We still haven't told you why it's called Naked City, of course. I guess we owe some kind of an explanation, don't we? So one thing that's really cool is that people have little gardens set up, and you gotta love how, it's Nevada, it's southern Nevada. Northern Nevada is a different story, but you can grow things out here 365 days a year. We have the prickly pear, or nopales as we call them around our household. And then you have those little flowers. My wife would know the name. She's a genius. She's all about the visual stuff. But yeah, you still have people that have their super amounts of pride, because you might have to live here, but you don't have to live poorly. In this area here, I mean, if you have a house here, keep it well kept. I'm imagining that in the future, this area, it will be skyrocketing in value, especially as the northern part of the strip kind of closes in. But the question is, why is it called Naked City? So, interestingly enough, this is an area where in the 1950s, showgirls that were in the shows like Lido de Paris, I think was the one at the Stardust Follies over at the Tropicana, and Bally's also had the Jubilee show. So these were, well, Bally's Jubilee didn't exist back then because the hotel didn't exist, but you get the idea. These were old shows imported from France and meant to basically classify Las Vegas, make it classy. The showgirls wanted a suntan. They would do it in the courtyards here. It was private. They wanted to take their tops off to tan, so they didn't have tan lines for the show, hence the name Naked City. And what's interesting is what we just saw doesn't represent the whole area.
because right now it's beautiful where I am. These places are clean, there's nicely painted, everything is very nice, and I mean, everything's gated. Would I live in a place like this? Yeah, I would say I don't know what everything is all about up here, but it's a really nice little community once you get past the first part, so you can't really... So I'm now on Cleveland Street. As I mentioned before, I think a lot of these are named after old East Coast cities. And I gotta be careful because the last street I was on, I was right in the middle of saying that it actually is a pretty chill, kind of nice neighborhood. Everything's brand new. They spent a lot of money on refreshing all this and making the buildings nicer and adding proper security, and the police stepped up patrols in this area. And I was right in the middle of saying that, and then a guy came out, and I don't know what he said, but he gave me the stink eye. And then I was looked at a whole bunch by people like, what are you doing in my neighborhood? If you're watching this and you live in this neighborhood, I just want to tell you, this is a very unique neighborhood. I think if I brought my family and friends here, I would be okay in the daytime walking them through this area. I'm still not going to come down here and go off the beaten path at night, but I think you know the risks of living in a neighborhood like this. And that's the best thing that I can say about it right now without hopefully not offending people. But this is Cleveland Street. You can go through here. I've seen some weird things in this area. One time I was down here and I saw people with like McLarens. It was like a McLaren club. It was ridiculous. Supercars. They're at this little antique store right around the corner. If I can find it, I will for this video. So it's a mishmash of really old buildings, and there's some blight, and it's other parts that are not too bad. And you know, it seems like the landlord has to upkeep it. $650 a month for an apartment over here across the way. $150 to $130 a week. I guess just stay away from the Aztec. That's all I could tell you. Sorry, Aztec, but you know, until you fix that one building up, I'm not going to be a tenant. So yeah, $600 a month, $650 here. Kind of a bidding war back and forth as we go back kind of towards the main strip right now. Well, that's unfortunate. Perfectly good, whatever that was. So one thing that does sit over there, that reddish building behind me, that's the Lucky Dragon. That was somebody's, well, it was the Lucky Dragon. Now it's called the Ahern. Let me explain. Somebody who was, what's up, guys? How you doing? That's fun. Even here. That's cool. Somebody who wanted to build an Asian-themed resort. They no doubt looked upon the likes of the Venetian and the Wynn and the Encore, which court, like, under normal circumstances, millions of tourists, Asian tourists, especially from China, Malaysia, Singapore. They wanted to build one right there. The problem is either bad marketing or just lack of, you know, awareness for the brand. That place closed not 6 months, I think, after it was opened. And then it was reopened as the Ahern. It's a convention-style hotel. And of course, we all know how that goes. You know, the pandemic hit. So I don't think they're open right now. The Ahern has an interesting history with getting some fines from the state for holding events when they weren't supposed to because everybody's trying to pay their bills. So that's there. Stratosphere is behind us. Of course, we have the strip behind us too. So you're going to see it's going to get really, really, really busy in this area, especially when you consider we're not too far from the main drag. What is this worth to a developer? A lot. That's what I imagine. So I guess then the question is, should you like even come back here when you come to Vegas? I don't know. I mean, I think it goes without saying that you should choose your journeys wisely, especially if you go into an area that you're not familiar with, if it's your first time here. Maybe you just want to go see how, you know, the people that don't represent the billionaires on the strip live. Because honestly, they represent themselves. This community is a very sweet little community once you get past what's going on at the Aztec. As a matter of fact, even the one building directly on the other side of the Aztec, even that building is a lot nicer. But for some reason, there are hair extensions on the ground. I'm not even making that up. So there you got Naked City. Naked City in Las Vegas, right near the Stratosphere. Started off as a place in the 50s where the showgirls would want to have some privacy so they could make sure they had no tan lines for their glamorous shows on the strip, entertaining all the people coming into town. And in a way, it hasn't changed all that much. I learned real hard in there that people still want their privacy. Of course, I wasn't aiming it at any person in particular, just walking with the camera. And if I've offended you in any way by doing this video, I apologize. I just want to show you guys that while you see those people on the strip, a lot of them live off the strip. Not everybody lives like this. Some people live better, some people live worse, but everything has a story. And unbeknownst to you, that person that you might get annoyed with while you're here, they might be living back here, so give them some respect and some dignity. It also goes to show you that looks aren't everything. I've been coming out near that Aztec hotel for a very long time, and I've been looking at that blighted building for a very long time, so I thought I knew what was going on in Naked City, and I was very wrong. So I'm glad to be wrong. I liked what they did back there. It looks like it's well kept. Everything is really clean, and I was really impressed with it. But what about you? After we got past the Aztec with its burnt out buildings, did you like what you saw? Would you invest in this part of Las Vegas? This is a place you could find yourself living, or do you want to live in the homes in the hills? Because that's the thing, right? Showing you this right here matters a lot to me. See, we could all get us YouTubers. I have a friend, he's a realtor. I could go show you the $500,000 home so you can marvel at how beautiful the area is. And I want to do that someday too. But unless we show you the whole entire city, you don't have an idea of what it's really like out here. Honestly, this is my first time walking that deep in there since 2004. Believe it or not. So good on you for what you've done over here to take care of your community, for all the people back there. I hope I didn't disrupt your day too much, and I want to thank you guys for watching and sharing, liking, subscribing. This area where I'm standing right here undoubtedly one day will be super high-end, I'm sure of it, what with the strip encroaching on it. But until then, this is what you get. An interesting little quirky neighborhood. It takes a lot of pride apparently in keeping itself fantastic looking and just wants its privacy. If you guys want to support the channel, I have practically no privacy. I'm a YouTuber. Make sure you head on over to the Patreon channel memberships so you get the same perks and benefits, early videos, different photos. You can also do vegasfacemask.com. The only two face masks you'll ever need. We're wearing Vegas nostalgia. Nostalgic area out here. Goodness gracious, what is this, like a 70-year-old community? Yep, more from Vegas if you guys like and you guys want to see them, like this video. I'll go see more areas like this. Now's the time of the video where I say 3, 2, 1, click. So if you're ready for this, we go 3, 2, 1, and click!